welcome to Today in Dublin, and we are so blessed today because we have two beautiful girls, inside and out. I should say young women because they're not really girls anymore, I guess. We have the Dublin Miss Distinguished Young Woman and Miss Lawrence County. So we have Kristen and Perry, and we're going to talk to them today about what it was like to win, what it was like to go through the interview process, you know, what are they doing now to prepare for the state, and what they plan on doing as they go into their senior year and on into college. So, girls, I'm so happy that y'all got a chance to join me. It was not easy getting them. They both lead very, very busy lives, but I'm so glad y'all finally got a chance to come on. First of all, I want to say y'all both did a fantastic job that night. It was just, I was completely blown away with both of y'all.
Thank you.
So, Kristen Ferris, Perry Tanner. First of all, you are Miss Lawrence County.
I'm Miss Dublin.
Miss Dublin, and you're Miss Lawrence County. I get that backwards every time.
We went to the wrong flags when they announced our names, so I think that kind of confused everyone.
Yeah. So, well, it's wonderful, and you both have very good talents, and we'll go into that in a minute. But first of all, tell me what it was like to actually become the Miss Lawrence County and Miss Dublin Distinguished Young Woman and be able to represent Dublin.
Well,
and you can take turns.
well, to me, it was a huge shock. One of my teachers took pictures, and he took a picture of the moment that they said my name, and I was just kind of standing there really confused because I didn't at all expect. There were so many other girls that were so good, and I was just so overwhelmed and so thankful that I won, and it's been amazing to be able to do so much in Dublin. I didn't even know that we had this many events, and I've been to all of them, so it's been great.
Well, wonderful. Perry, what about you?
I was definitely shocked, especially because there were 17 girls, including me, and all their talents were awesome. And like literally, I feel like we were just on such an even playing field, and it has been great to get to participate in all of the March activities, and I'm really excited for what's to come this year.
That's good. Now, as far as going to the what we used to call Junior Miss State, it's Distinguished Young Woman State now. What I know that I got to talk to Kristen a little bit before we got started, and she was saying there's so much paperwork you had to fill out just to get started with. So now that the paperwork is kind of behind you guys, I know that you both are having to continue practicing your talents. And I'm sure that Debbie and them are drilling y'all on all of your questions. So kind of give me an idea of what y'all are doing, because I know both of y'all live very busy lives too, between school and activities and church and everything else you've got going on. So tell me a little bit about, you know, what you're doing to prepare for it.
Well, I actually haven't been to dance in so long because I've had all this other stuff. So once my schedule, like my soccer schedule dies down, I'll go back to dance. I'll start practicing my solo again. And we also got, I don't know how long it was.
We got, I think it's until state, memberships to Clark's Health Club until state,
yes,
I think.
To get us just prepared. We got to get those military push-ups down, which will be challenging. And especially the paperwork, I'm still not done. I still have to fill that out, but we're just trying our best to get in shape.
Same for you?
Basically the same. I've been trying to practice my talent as much as I can. I got a new ukulele, so I have to now tune it up and get it ready, and I'm just trying to get through it.
So, well, we'll go. Let's say a little bit for this. If people weren't there and you didn't get to see the talent and everything, Kristen sang and played the ukulele, and I'm going to let her tell you the name of the song because I know I will get it wrong.
It's called La Vie en Rose by Edith Path.
Why did you pick that song?
I heard it on YouTube, and I thought it was a really cool song. And then I later realized that it was actually a French song. I had heard the English version of it, but I thought it would be really unique for me to teach myself French and teach myself the ukulele and learn it, and I went for it and did it.
Well, you did a very good job. I was saying that the ukulele is such an unusual instrument to play anyway, but then to play it for a pageant, I thought was very, very unique, and I was very pleased with that because you did a great job
Thank
on
you.
it. And that comes from somebody who can't play a crap. I mean, really, I can play note and I can play the spoons. That's it. So that impresses me. And I told you I was a singer, so you know that I kind of judge you hard when it comes to singing. And then Perry, you danced to Imagine.
Yes, ma'am.
And you did a lyrical
Yes, ma'am.
piece, right? So I mean, I know you had to practice. Y'all were practicing since January, but I think you learned yours before then.
I can't remember when I learned mine. I think it was about in October, maybe. And I remember just sitting down. I had like some ideas in my head about what I wanted to do, but I just thought like in today's world that related so much because everything's so crazy. So like, what if you did imagine that, you know, the lines of the song?
Right.
And I just really thought I could really express myself through that piece of music.
Well, it was a beautiful. Of course, that's a great song. I mean, I love that song, and you did a great job. And I was telling her I tend to be difficult on dancers because my daughter was in dance for so many years, and I can't dance either, but I understand it. So you tend to look at those people that you understand what they're doing and judge them a little bit more difficult than you do people that you don't really, you know, have anything to do with. So to say that I was impressed with both of you guys is not even does not even touch what it was. I mean, you both did a very good job. Now, Kristen, you won the Miss Lawrence. No,
Dublin.
See, I knew I was going to do that. You won the Miss Dublin, and you also won the Bucky Hobbs Talent Award.
I did.
Now, part of what we don't see is we don't get to see the actual interview that you guys have to go through, and that's like what 25%.
I don't know how much it was. A lot, I know though.
And so, tell me, what was that like going through the interview process for you, and if there was one question that stuck out as maybe, you know, your hard question.
It was very nerve-wracking because I had never done an interview in front of so many people, and we had to stand up in front of them, and we couldn't hold our hands tight, or we had to keep them loose, and it was really nerve-wracking. But one question that they asked me is what if I got first honoree and a girl that I thought wasn't as distinguished as me won the scholarship program, and they asked me how I would react, and it stuck out to me because I didn't have to think about the question. I just kind of popped out my answer, and it was that no matter what I thought about the girl who won, that I knew that the judges saw something in her that I possibly couldn't have seen, and that she was distinguished enough to win, and that I needed to probably get to know her better and change my point of view on her. And it just stuck out to me that they would ask it because I did not expect it at all.
Well, that is actually a good question. And how many judges are there?
Gracious.
Five judges when you're asking that question, and you have to stand before them. That can be intimidating, to say the least. And I know that scholastic plays a big role in it, which we don't get to see your scholastic abilities. But you have to assume that everybody that was in the pageant had pretty good grades to even get to that point. So to want to be in it, knowing that scholastic was a part of it, and we did get to hear your answer to what you thought a distinguished young woman is, which was your question on stage, which I guess is called self-expression.
Yes, ma'am.
And both of you had very good answers. I was very impressed, and you both said it very. You owned it. You know, it was like, this is really what I believe. So it didn't sound rehearsed so much as it did just, this is really what I'm saying. So now, Perry, you are Miss Lawrence County. See, they're keeping me straight now. So, and you had to go through the interview process. Now, what was your idea of it?
I was so nervous. I mean, I stood up there, my legs were like, I was just shaking, and I could not get them to stop, and I was like, they probably think I'm freaking out, which I was. And I think one of the hardest questions they asked me, which it wasn't really that hard, I think I was just freaking, so I overthought it. And they asked me, because I listed Ronald Reagan as one of my favorite historical figures, and she quoted a...
Smart girl.
She quoted she said a quote from him that said, "A nation without God is a nation gone under," and asked me how I thought about that. And instead of like addressing what she was asking, I just started going on about Ronald Reagan. And as soon as I got done, I was like, what did I do? I mean, they're probably like, that was not the question. But I mean, I'm here, so it wasn't. It obviously wasn't that bad.
Well, at least it showed that you knew why you picked Ronald Reagan, right? So I mean, I guess that answers your question there. And like I said, both of your self-expressions. Now, Perry, you also won Scholastic Fitness and the Holly Vaughn Performing Arts and Self-Expression. So that was, I'm sure, even more icing on the cake. But so tell me what. You're only a junior in high school, and I understand, especially today, it takes a lot longer to decide. There's so many things you can major in. When I come back, we're going to talk about what you guys plan on doing in the future. So we're going to go to commercial right now, but we'll be back in a minute. And we're back, and we are going to talk to these beautiful young women about what their plans are. So Perry, I've asked Kristen first. I'm going to go with you this time. I'm going to put you on the spotlight. What do you plan on doing? Do you have any idea?
I would really like to be a physician's assistant. That's kind of hard to say. I would really want to go to the University of Georgia and hopefully major in sports and exercise science. I want to do something like in the orthopedic field with like bones. That just really interests me. So
well, that's a good field to go into, and there's so much you can expand from that too. So if you got into it and later decided you wanted to do even more, it's a very open field. Kristen, what about you?
I would like to major in journalism and minor in music, and it's a weird combination, but I really love writing, and I would love to become a reportive journalist. I don't think I said that right, but I would love to go into the field and get research and data and then write an article about it. And I want to minor in music because music's such a huge part of my life, and I enjoy it, and would love to be able to pursue that in journalism. And I have no idea where I want to go to school. I know I'm staying here for at least a year and then going off somewhere, but I'm not sure where.
Well, journalism is interesting too, because it's such a changing field now with less and less actual print and more internet and 24-hour news. I think there's probably even as much a call for journalists, if not more, because you've got to have somebody constantly overlooking everything if you're going to have 24-hour news. Somebody's got to be there to report on it. So that's interesting. I know I've had a couple people that went into journalism and about second year in decided that they wanted to do the production part of it and actually be production managers and stuff instead of being forward, and it's just because they fell in love with that part of it. So that's also a field that could bring wide open and go into different things from there too. And with journalism, it's kind of like communications. It opens you up to businesses too. So there'll be quite a bit of things that you can do with that. Now, of everything, I know you both have a lot of interesting things going on, especially to be juniors in high school. You seem to be very busy. So I'm going to ask you some of your extracurricular activities, Kristen, things that you have going on, whether it be school, church, music, and how that plays into your studying.
Well, I'm a very organized person, and I love keeping things in order and keeping things ready and not be stressed about anything. But I'm on my high school's dance line. I've been on it since freshman year. And as of right now, it doesn't take as much of my time up, but we start later on in the summer and band camp and getting ready and getting our everything organized and together, and then football season, and then we have parades. And during school, it's a huge part, and then I'm in a lot of different clubs that I have to participate in and have to get volunteer hours for. And then at my church, I'm a teacher in Awana, where I teach little kids Bible verses, so that takes up a lot of my time too. But I try to keep organized where I have time to study for all my exams and my tests, and even if it's studying whenever I have a break in a class, I still try to keep it all organized and keep it fit and all put together so that I have time for everything.
Well, and that's an interesting point that you made about having to keep everything organized, because I imagine when you are as busy as the both of you are, if you're not organized, you could get off track really easily and miss dates that you're supposed to have things in. And I think it's awesome that you guys do so much community service. I think that that's a positive thing that not only schools do now to have community service for part of your, going to college and all, but I think that DYW has a lot to do with that too. So Perry, now what are some of your extracurricular activities, and how do you find time for everything?
I am busy, but right now I'm in soccer season, so that, and I dance year round, so just mixing that together, it's crazy sometimes. And I play piano. I actually might go after this interview. And I sing with the Nightingales, which is a local singing group for 9th through 12th grade girls run by Miss Kelly Knight. I definitely keep myself busy. I don't really like to have a lot of downtime, but it does get hard because junior year is so hard with school. I mean, I've come home just like crying because I was so stressed out, especially towards the end of the year. They're just trying to pile on the things to get it over with, and it's hard, but I mean, I've done an okay job getting through it. I don't try to keep it off. I try to do it as much. I mean, like, I try to finish it as fast as it. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. When you find out you've got something to do, you try to.
I try to finish it and get it turned in.
Right. Well, I think it's interesting too that one thing you said was that junior year is really difficult. I've always heard, and I found this true when my daughter was in school, your odd numbers, 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, those are hard years. Those are years that you usually learn a totally different way of doing stuff, whether it's, going into a different type of math or going into a different type of science. It's all new to you, so those tend to be very difficult years. If that's true, maybe senior year will be extremely fun.
I hope so.
Hopefully.
I hope so.
And don't do like I did. I had a lot of fun my junior, senior year. That's probably not the best thing to do. Also, the fact that you guys stay so busy, I imagine it really keeps you out of a lot of, I'm not going to say trouble, but a lot of things that kids could get into today, but you just don't have time for it. I mean, there's no time for you guys to, do a lot of the extracurricular activities that could get you into trouble, which is wonderful. I mean, that you keep yourselves that busy. I find that shows a lot too about your character, that y'all stay as busy and as organized, because most juniors in high school are not very organized. I mean, you can look around. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad, but I'm sure you've got 2 or 3 friends you can say, yeah, they're not organized. I mean, that's something, and if you learn it now, it will be something that can go with you forever, because it took me, although I was more organized in schoolwork and stuff when I was growing up, and I've always been organized in my job, I'm not extremely organized at my house. I like to pretend that I am, but I'm not. And it drives me crazy because I am organized in other places. So when that part of my life is not organized, I constantly feel like I need to be doing this. I need to be doing this. It's not that I do it. I just think I need to. Because if I did it, I would be organized. See, that's the difference. But it's hard for me because my husband's extremely organized, and my daughter is organized now. She wasn't organized since a junior, but she's organized now. And that makes it even more difficult for me because, sometimes I find like I'm just flying by the seat of my pants a lot of times, and I'm just all like, frazzled, and I'm not really. I have it's a very organized disorganization that I have. I like to say I'm very disorganized and organized at the same time. So what, if there was one thing that you could tell people that you got from this particular program, what would you say that you really learned or really accepted about yourself? Kristen, you go first.
Well, I just gained a lot of confidence in being able to speak in front of, it's not a large crowd, but in front of strangers at least, and being able to do things that I never thought that I would do. It helped me gain a lot of friends that there was not a lot, but there was a few that weren't from my school, and it helped me get to know them. It helped me get to know Perry. It just helped me all around to gain more confidence in myself and gain friends also.
And Perry?
it really, like she said, just gave me a lot of self-confidence because I really didn't expect to win what I did. And again, like she said, I was the only one from Trinity. No one else was. So, like, every Sunday I'd come in, and, I mean, there were new faces. Like, I just didn't get to see them on a regular basis. So I really got to create a lot of more friendships, which was great because Trinity's small, so I like to get out and have more friends.
Right. And I'm sure that that's something that you guys will both get from the state level, is you're going to meet even more people that I'm sure there'll be one or two that you stay in contact with throughout, your college and even years past that. You'll always have some contact with that one person, somebody that you click with, which is wonderful. It's also part of what this program is for, is it helps you to meet new people. So we're going to go to a break, and we'll be back in just a second, and we're going to finish up our conversation. Okay, and we're back, and we've been talking during the commercial break, and it's a little funny about some of the things that you say when you're not on camera. I'm assuming I'm not on camera. I never know what the camera guy Kevin's doing back there, so I never know whether this is going to show up on a blooper reel later or not. But you girls, both of you, strike me as very mature, organized, likable young women, and I know that regardless of what you are like in life, it's difficult sometimes, like you said, whether it's talking in front of a crowd or meeting new people. I think that this program is wonderful. I mean, obviously you got great scholarships, which is wonderful. I mean, everybody needs that, and it's great that you can do it in the way that you've done it and be able to assert your talent and your intelligence and your personality altogether. If you could say anything to the girls coming up behind you that may be on the fence about it, not sure if they want to be a part of it, not sure if they're confident enough for the talent, or they're worried about the interview, what would you tell them, Perry?
I think I would just tell them, like, even if they don't win anything, it's still worth it to do it because you create so many friendships and you just gain this confidence about you just walking on stage and speaking before everyone. And it's just really a lot of fun, really stress-free. Except for sometimes we put the stress on ourselves when we've gotten so nervous, but just really fun, really interactive. I love Miss Debbie, I love Molly, and literally everyone involved with it. So I would definitely encourage them to do it.
And Kristen, what would you say?
Well, basically what Perry just said. And it's just
ditto.
And it's a fun experience, even if you don't win anything, even if you don't think you have the confidence. I didn't think I had the confidence. I had never sung in front of anybody before for talent. I had never had an interview, but I went out there and just was myself. It was just a genuinely good time, and even if I wouldn't have won, I still would have never regretted going into it. I made so many friendships, and it's just such a fun experience.
And I think you must learn a little bit about yourself too as you go into it. What what things you thought you'd be the best at, and what things you actually wound up being good at, you weren't sure about. I'm sure that it was a learning experience for you guys in the same sense about yourselves. Well, so as far as Dublin goes and Lawrence County, I know that you guys are happy to be representing us. Is there anything that you would like to tell Dublin and Lawrence County?
Well, thank you for giving us this opportunity to be able to have this program and to be able to be in it. And I can't think of anything else.
Perry?
Well, I am so, and I'm sure we both are, just so honored to live in Dublin because I think Dublin has done, and Lawrence County, has done just a great job in providing us opportunities to be in things like this. And I'm really excited to represent Lawrence County, and I'm sure she's excited to represent Dublin at state in June.
Well, I don't think we could have gotten two better girls to do it. They're very humble girls, very humble, very intelligent, and it's not every day that you see somebody that can do what you guys have done and are going to do in state. To stay as humble and as proud as you are at the same time. I think that that's a wonderful thing You guys are as beautiful inside as you are outside, and that is a feat and that you definitely will take with you when you go to state and as you go on into your lives. I think that it shines through both of you, and you guys should be very proud, and your parents should be very proud, and Dublin and Lawrence County should be very proud that we have such two beautiful young women going to represent our little town. I think that one thing we can remember from this and from other things that go on in Lawrence County and Dublin is the sense of community. We have a great community here, and it shows with the young people that we send forward and out into the world, and that come back into Dublin at later points of their life to make their home here. A lot of them go away and they go to college and they may go to school other places, but I've talked to so many people that have even come back in their 40s and 50s to Dublin because they remember how wonderful it was to live here, and the sense of community is so strong that they want that back. And I think that as we have young people like you guys going out, hopefully that eventually you'll come back here and bring what you've learned in the world back here and make this even a better town and a better community, and a place where young people will want to be, and raise families so that we can have great young ladies like yourselves to continue to represent our county and our city. You guys, I wish you the best, and hopefully after state we can have you back on and talk about everything that went on at state and what you've learned through that experience, because it'll be a totally different experience for you guys. I wish you guys both the most success, not only in the pageant, but as you go on and forward in your lives. And I know y'all are going to be great, and I'm sure that we'll have y'all on next year for other things that you guys are doing too. I appreciate y'all coming.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Y'all have a nice night, and we will see y'all again soon.